Welcome students back to the part 2 summary of the unit 4.2 to serve with love of chapter 17. November 15 was a very important day for Greenslade School where the author Mr. E.R. Brithwaite was a teacher of the senior-most class. The half-yearly report of the Students' Council happened to be the most important day in the calendar of the school. Yeah. Now here what they're telling that they are having an open house, okay, or you can say as the name says, half yearly report means in mid semester, they have a report of every class. And what was the date? November 15, and it was a very important event. Miss Moira Joseph Bert Denham, the senior-most students, were the main officials who invited the class panels from the primary to the secondary level. Now, as students, you know, we have the council, okay, the council meetings takes place, the head girl, the head boy. Here also the council is there, and Miss Moira Joseph is the head as well as Bert Denham. As we have studied in the summary, all the girls were referred as Miss. So these were the two senior most students, Moira and Bert, okay, and they invited all the class panels from the primary to the secondary level, means a representative from every class was invited. Class after class, the students' panel presented its respective report. Then the turn of the senior-most class, of which Mr. Brethwaite was the class teacher, arrived. Till a few months ago, that class would be the most undisciplined class in the school. But during the half year, Mr. Brethwaite's teaching techniques and inquisitively strong responses of students to his justified knowledge engaged the teacher taught relationship with their curricula, and it worked wonders. Now here there in the summary it says that they started with the lower classes. Okay, for example, if the school is of standard first to 10, so standard first representative presented first the report, then the second, then the third, and now it was time of Mr. Brethwaite's class, which was the senior most class over there. Previously this class was considered as the most, what you would say, means useless sort of thing. Okay, the class was all the brats were there in the class. But now after Brethwaite's, okay, when he changed his techniques, the way the relationship developed with the students, and now not only the curriculum, that is the syllabus was covered, but the way it was covered was appreciated by everyone. The presentation of the report by their panel comprised Potter for arithmetic, Cepiano for nature study, Miss Barbara Pegg and Jackson for geography, Miss Pamela Dare and Femnam for physiology, Miss George for history, Denham for PT and games, and Miss Moira Joseph for domestic science. Each student presented their respective reports with great lucidity and confidence. Now here they have explained that each student from Brithwaite's class, okay, there was a representative of each subjects. Now the subjects were like maths, that is arithmetic, then nature study, uh, geography, physiology, history, PT and games, and domestic science. Okay, and they were the representatives. The name of the students are given, and the way the students of Brethwaite's class came forward, the way they presented it with great confidence. Their teacher, that is Mr. Brethwaite, felt proud for his achievement as a teacher, as his previously reckless students had become confident, concerned about curricula and council. Now they say council responsibilities. Now Mr. Brethwaite was a very proud teacher when he saw his students who were previously called as reckless. Okay, as you said, means useless. They were only the brats in the class, but now the way they have presented, how confident they have become, and how they are becoming a very responsible council members. Fairman outperformed all by bringing a skeleton and demonstrating the importance of equality on the basis of its unknown color, race, or religion. Very important over here, Fairman, the student, who was the in charge of the subject, okay, what he did to show that all religion are same, all races are same, there is no color difference should not be considered. To prove this, he got a skeleton on the stage. Now, looking at the skeleton, the students have to recognize his religion, his race, but from the skeleton it's not possible because the skeleton is very same for everyone, isn't it? Means only the gender you could make it out, looking outward, not in the. So from the skeleton, he proved that means we all are equal inside. When we all are equal, why then from the outward appearance, from the color, on the basis of the color we are dividing the people. The skeleton brought uproarious comic relief to all. Means people were very happy looking at the skeleton and the way he presented. All were good in their presentation on weights and measures, vegetation, pest, mineral, history, post-World War stress scenario, stressful human relationship, UNICEF's programs, traditions, etc. But Denham's outrageous report contained criticism on the school's ill-conceived timetable, keeping PT period twice weekly for 20 minutes and including exercise as a waste of time and not including boxing for a greater importance. Now here everyone were praising it, okay, all whoever the student was there, they were praising what kind of work they have done, like means on history, what was the UNICEF's program at that time, the tradition around them, and how was the condition after post-World War. Every student praised it. But only one child, that is Denham, he was a little bit concerned that there are only 2 periods in a week for PT, and that too they have to do compulsory exercise. Okay, it is waste of time. Instead of it, people should be given boxing period. That's what the child said. The session of report presented the session of report presentation got over. Out of random selection through folded slips, the names of 3 teachers unfolded. That is Mr. Weston, Mrs. Dale Evans, and Miss Phillips. Now, what was the trend over there? To this council meeting, random any 3, because it was all students' presentation, but only 3 teachers will come, and that too random selection will be there, okay, of teachers. It was a whole and soul students program. So the 3 teachers who were selected were Mr. Weston, Mrs. Dale Evans, and Miss Phillips. An interactive session of question and answers started and concluded in a very democratic way. Now there was a very democratic way. The questions were posed by the students and the teachers were answering it. During this session, teachers responded as per their knowledge. Mr. Weston cut a very sorry picture while responding to students' concern and became a laughing stock. Means Mr. Weston, who was one of the teachers, he couldn't answer properly to the students' question and became a laughing stock. Means a talk of the town, you could say, like that. And students started laughing on him. Miss Dale Evans, too, was not so impressive as Miss Euphemia Phillip was. So the best teacher who answered was Miss Euphemia Phillip. Miss Dale and Mr. Weston were not that good. She gave a befitting reply to Denham's poser question which had crossed the bar. She said that their school's balanced timetable was ideal to cater to the needs and not demands of all the students who had their respective strengths in verified field, and the timetable of academics, co-scholastics and sports was focused on mental as well as physical exercise. Now here we could make it out that the question posed by the student about the PT period, that only 2 periods and that 2 exercise is done. So that is a waste of time, the student said. Here Miss Phillips answered very properly that she said that the school timetable is very balanced. It is as per the requirement of the students, not the demands. Students will demand anything. They may say there should be 5 periods. Is it possible? No. So it's not as per the students' demand. Getting it? So exercise, physical exercise is very much needed. You can't say it is useless. As the academics is necessary, even the physical exercise is necessary. Only one stream like boxing cannot be considered as important physical activity. That was the answer given by Miss Phillip. the subjects, and that curricula could help all students, including Denham, when he would leave the school and meet the world. She concluded her answer by saying that whatever curriculum they are having, okay, co-curricular activities, the exercises, what they have included in the PT period, it will help Denham. Denham is the child who asked the question, okay. It will be very helpful when he meet the world means what? When he leaves the school and starts working or goes in the open world, okay, when he leaves the school and goes in the world, in the society, then he will find that these exercises were very important. Denham was outwitted at that reply. Means actually everyone were happy that Denham has posed this question of PT period, but now everyone understood the answer. All were satisfied. Hence, the special day concluded. Mr. Brathwaite was very surprised at Miss Phillips' reply and was convinced how it was that a timid-looking teacher could cope so effectively in an undisciplined class. Here, Brathwaite is appreciating Miss Phillips. Okay, he's telling that Miss Phillips' character, or you could say the structure, she looks very timid. Timid means not a brave teacher, never speaks generally. Okay, but here, when she was called on the stage and the way she replied Denham that how exercise is necessary in PT period was excellent, and he was very happy with Miss Phillips' answer. So here we came to the end of the summary of chapter 17. In chapter 17, we have seen that there is an open house, or not exactly open house. A meeting is there of councils, and every class representative comes and presents the subject. Okay. Now this was only about chapter 17, which you have to prepare. Now we will go to the character analysis. A 4-mark question appears in the paper where they will give you any character. In this novel, we are going to see the main character. Now, who is the main character? Mr. Brathwaite. Okay, Ricardo Brathwaite. Now, as you know, Ricardo Brathwaite was a teacher. Let's see what happens. The same thing is repeated as I told you. If you know the story, you can write the answer very properly. Let's see what character analysis has been done for Ricardo Brathwaite. Ricardo Brathwaite, who is also referred to as Rick, is the main character in the story. Now you have to write because he is only one who is telling you the story about his class. Okay, so he is the main character. He was formerly an engineer before joining the Air Force during World War II. After the war, he tries to find work but is subjected to racial discrimination. As we have discussed before also, he doesn't get job after the World War II only because of his lower race. However, he does not despair and he eventually lands a job as a teacher. He doesn't stop his search. Somehow, he is successful in finding a job as a teacher. His students are semi-literate and do not show much interest in learning. Okay, means here the batch which is given to him, the students were semi-literate, means not that educated as such. They were not knowing the rules, how to sit in a class, and also it was a class of mess, and they were least interested in learning. He turns to unconventional methods of teaching by allowing students to visit museums and decide what topics they want to discuss. This approach becomes popular with the students and they end up loving Ricardo Brathwaite. So as you know, and we have seen in the summary also, that how Brathwaite deals with the students, he finds innovative ideas for teaching and thus becomes a very loving teacher for the class. Okay, he becomes very popular with the students. So all those points, like what innovative ideas of taking them to museum, to the theater, and he used to talk to the students, though they insulted him, but he used to forgive the students, and he becomes a very popular teacher. So this is the character analysis of Ricardo Brathwaite. Here we end with to serve with love. We have seen the summary, we have seen the theme in part 1. In part 2, we have seen the chapter analysis, that is chapter number 17, as well as the character analysis. One character we have seen in this. Okay, as we go further for the next novel, we will see in the same pattern we have to follow. These are the questions based. They can ask you about the type of novel it is. The questions asked can be the summary or the synopsis of the novel. It can be a synopsis of a particular chapter. which they have given. Like here we have chapter number 17, and any one character they could ask. So in every novel you have to know the summary, you have to know the theme very properly, and you have to know the characters of the novel. So thank you, students. Let's meet in the Zoom lecture. Please go through it properly so that whatever the doubts are there, we can sort it out. Thank you.